everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. It's Mrs. Minasali. Today we are going to complete a Phet on balancing chemical equations. The steps that you're going to go through are listed here on Google Classroom. So pretty much first you're going to open your Phet worksheet that is on Google Docs, which is where you will be required to complete this assignment. Your alternative is to print it and draw it out, but that is not a requirement. If you do choose to do that, make sure you take a picture and attach it to the assignment before you submit. Once you open up this doc, we ask that you watch this video, which you're listening to right now. And then the third step is you're going to complete 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and look at the worksheet, and I'm going to go through kind of the directions of what you have to do as well as the expectations. So here on my left-hand side, I have the worksheet and I have my Phet on the right-hand side. So for the first part of this Phet assignment, you're going to be required to complete this table. It has 3 different chemical equations that you are working with. This is kind of extra practice of what we did on Tuesday in regards to balancing chemical equations, but this is more of a visual representation of that. So the first thing you have to do is you're going to enter into this introduction portion of the Phet. This is the screen you're going to get when you press on this link that's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and enter. Let me reset mine. And you can see that the first thing that comes up says make ammonia. That is the same thing that's here that says make ammonia. So your responsibility is going to be to determine the coefficients. As we know, when we're balancing equations, we could only change coefficients to balance an equation. Now, what's a little different with this assignment as opposed to when we did this on Tuesday, typically when we have an equation and we have no coefficient in front of the number, that means that there's like an invisible 1 there. But for the sake of this simulation, they auto put in zeros. So you just want to make sure that the first thing you do is turn everything to 1. That's kind of your initial, which is what you have written here. We do recommend in the directions here that while you're doing this assignment, you need to turn on this particular tool, and that is this little balance. It's an actual visible balance, kind of how we mapped out on either side of the equation, you know, N, H, and how many of each. It's giving you that here. So it's showing you that, you know, on this side, there's 2 N's, and on this side, there's 1 N. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to change these coefficients. I'm not going to do it for you right now because that would be giving it away. And once you've gotten it balanced, you'll be able to see visually up here. You're going to fill in your answers over here of what the final coefficients for the balanced equation is. Now, once you get to this section in the middle, it tells you here you're going to click insert and draw. You're required to show the actual equation with the number of molecules. Pretty much you're drawing what you see over here once you're finished. I just want to really briefly show you how to do this. So you're going to click onto the spot that you want to draw. And like it says here, you're going to click and insert, then draw. So you're going to press insert up here, drawing, and new. This is going to take you to this page where you have the freedom to create anything you want, and whatever you create on here is going to insert into the spot you had highlighted. So just for the sake of an example, I will show you. Let's say I wanted to draw the little molecules of N. I can go here, pick the shape of a circle. I could go ahead and draw my little circle. Okay, I have 1 there. For the sake of an example, that's what I'm going to put. If you want to add text, you would just put a little text box here. And this is where you can, let's say, type in N, or sorry, 2. And just for the sake of example, this is not correct, guys. And then I'm going to press save and close. Once I press save and close, you'll see it actually inserted what I drew in here. So this is where you're going to show those little molecules and insert it. Hopefully we're following along. This final portion is asking you to draw the completed scales. So once again, this is once you've balanced and completed your coefficients, you're going to fill in the molecules. Here it has for N and it has for H. So you're going to show how many of your nitrogens and how many of your hydrogens by doing the little circles. You can draw, you can also screen do a screenshot and submit it right in here. Either way, we're totally fine with that as a representation that you did this part of the assignment. So that is the whole first part of the assignment. I'm going to just put it back to the original setup so we can continue. Now, once you've done this 3 times, as you can see, you can switch between them here on the bottom. You've completed the first page of the assignment, and you're going to move on to the second part of the assignment, which is the quote unquote game section. You see here on the bottom, you can switch to where it says game. And as you see, you have level 1, level 2, and level 3. You're going to be doing the exact same thing you were before, where you are balancing the equations. I'll just pull one up just so you can see what I mean. So here you have where you're going to, of course, start by putting 1, and you're going to compare. If you feel that it's balanced, you can press check. And once you press check, it will tell you whether you're correct or not. Each level does have 5 different chemical equations that you are working with. So it's your job to, once you've finished balancing it and is correct, it wants you to write here. It says you need to write your chemical equation completed. So let's see what the direction says. It says, use a chart below to fill in equations you have successfully balanced at each level, underlining the coefficient in each chemical equation. So like I said, once you've balanced it, let's say this is your first one and you check it and it's right, you're going to go ahead right here, you're going to select, and you're going to type out this chemical formula. Make sure you include some sort of arrow, and make sure you are, as it indicates, underlining the coefficients you added. If the coefficient is a 1, you don't need to write that down. That is just for the sake of this game because it autos to 0. When you are writing it scientifically accurate, you do not need to write the 1. The only time you would write a coefficient is when it exceeds 1. So if it's 2, 3, 4, etc. So you're going to go ahead and do all of level 1. There's 5, level 2, and level 3. If for some reason you want to use like a snip tool and just snip your final answer and put it here, you're welcome to do that as well. Either way, you got to make sure that you have this entire worksheet filled out. Once you are done filling this worksheet out, then you've done the assignment and you're going to turn it in. Just a heads up, yes, this is the end of the marking period. This assignment is actually going to be the first assignment that you will get graded for in the 4th marking period. 3rd marking period grades will be finalized tomorrow, and they will be posted up when we return from spring break that first Monday. So keep in mind that this assignment is going to be the first grade for the 4th marking period. So please take it seriously. If you do have any further questions regarding anything in this assignment, as always, please comment down below. Feel free to email us. Feel free to ask questions. I think for the most part, it's self-explanatory. Try your best, and hopefully you enjoy this. Last little side note, I will say we are going to have a Unit 3 coming up, a Unit 3 test coming up when we get back from spring break. We'll be giving you a Quizlet, and you'll have a week to study, and it will be regarding all the topics we've covered in chemistry. So keep in mind that you should be keeping up with your assignments, and if you are doing that, you will be more than prepared for this test. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Goodbye.